Welcome back. Well, are you in the middle of a remodeling, or maybe you're building a new house and you want a waste food disposer? Well, if you want the best, look no further than Waste King, and I am here with Jeff. And Jeff, I think it's important to point out that not all waste food disposers are created equal. Is that right?
That's correct. There are certainly some differences.
Now, we're very impressed with yours. I mean, you have a green model that is ultra green, a 1 horsepower motor that is guaranteed for life. So that really puts your money where your mouth is. But you have many different models.
Yes, we start at 3rd horse, go all the way up to 1 horse for household, and in fact we make commercial food waste disposers as big as 10 horsepower.
That's amazing. Now, if we can, just for a moment, like to talk about some of the myths associated with waste food disposers. Now, with your disposer, let's not talk about competition. Can I pretty much put anything down it if I have leftovers, if I have chicken bones? Is that going to be okay, or is that a no-no?
Well, I think there are some things that can be problematic in disposers, real stringy things and so forth, but for the most part you should be able to put what you consume, what you need to put down them without being concerned. If you've selected the right one with the right capacity, the right size, yeah, you should be able to just do whatever you want with it.
Now, some believe, and I really was under the impression that waste food disposers had blades in them, but that's maybe not true.
Correct. They actually have impellers, which are what people sometimes refer to as blades. What those impellers do is force the foodstuff through a grind ring on the outside of the inner guts of a disposer. So they work more like a cheese shredder than a lawnmower.
Interesting. So that does give you the ability to put things down through it, and there is the safety aspect of it.
Yeah. Actually, you'd have to be pretty unlucky to stick your hand down in a disposer and hurt yourself, because most of the action takes place around the outer ring, not in the middle of it.
Okay, and when you're operating it, you run water at the same time?
Yeah, the water is designed to carry the foodstuff away. It's more critical to your drain lines, really, than to the operation of the disposer. The water is going to keep the lines from plugging up as the foodstuff gets washed down. There's no real need to cool the disposer with cold water, but cold water does work best in terms of solidifying grease. The grease will then be broken up and washed away more easily than if you used warm water.
Now, Anaheim Manufacturing, very much steeped in history, been around a half-century, so certainly know what they do when it comes to Waste King. You know, they've been doing this for 50 years plus. A lot of technology has been born out of that, and you guys have learned that the best thing to do is make it with quality parts. Stainless steel and really space-age plastics is what you have.
Correct. I mean, there are different grades of disposers out there. When you buy a new home, for instance, you'll have a disposer that has a fairly short life expectancy. But when it comes time to replace that unit, it's very important that you understand the differences in the upgrade models that are available out there. As you mentioned, there are certain aspects of corrosion that are going to be eliminated with a better unit. Stainless steel components, plastics in terms of the housings and so forth that won't rust. We actually have 4 units that have lifetime corrosion warranties. That's been historically a main cause of failure in food waste disposers, is the unit leaks and causes the motor to fail.
So if I'm doing a remodeling or I'm just replacing a unit that's in there, I don't have to replace it with that same unit, because Waste King can match any coupling that I need to have.
Yeah, you can select the size that you want to use. You can leave the flange in the sink if it's in good shape, mount ours up to an existing flange.
Now, Jeff, you mentioned different sizes. How do I know which size is right for me?
Well, I think it really depends on the expectation you have for the disposer. If you're the type of person that's a gourmet cook that entertains a lot, and you're going to put a lot of things down in it, the most important thing is the capacity of the disposer. As you get larger in horsepower, you get larger grind chambers, the ability to handle more food waste, so that as it gets pushed through, it's ground finely and it won't cause those problems with the drain lines that we talked about before. So you want to select a unit that's large enough to handle your expectation for it on your busiest day. Okay. Historically, food waste disposers tend to fail around holidays. When people are entertaining, they have a lot of people over, and they're stuffing a lot of things down the disposer. It's always better to buy a little bit too much than not enough. So select based on size, based on the length of the warranty, based on how long you think you're going to live in your home. Our longest warranty is lifetime, as you mentioned, but there are also 10-year, 5-year, and so forth, depending on what you're comfortable with and how long you think you'll be living there.
So that's really kind of nice. You know, if I'm a retired couple, I don't have to buy the biggest one out there. I can buy what suits our needs.
Exactly, and you can find something in the half-horse range that, you know, will have those corrosion-proof aspects that, you know, will be all you need, really, if that's your expectation.
Okay, I got my Waste King picked out. I've got it installed, and I'm enjoying the operation of it. Do I need to clean it, or how do you clean it, or what's involved there?
Yeah, in terms of care for the product, the best things to do are to just run a good mix of food through it, not one thing continuously. That's where they tend to get gummed up and clogged up inside. In terms of cleaning it, the best thing to do is to throw a bunch of ice down in and let the unit grind up that ice. Personally, if I take my ice maker tray and dump it out periodically, you know how you get the little chunks of ice, throw that down in your disposer, let it grind that up. That'll scrape off the impellers and the grind ring of all the grease that's getting built up, and really keep it cleaner longer. If you have a buildup of grease in your disposer and it starts to smell, the same thing with cleaning it can be accomplished with something citrus. Orange peels or lemon wedges or something like that can be shoved down in there. Let it grind those up, and that'll help deodorize at the same time.
Now, Jeff, at the onset of this segment, you confirmed what I had always believed, that not all disposers are created equal. You have a demonstration set up over here. Can we go take a look at that?
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to show it to you.
Now, Jeff, it looks like you have a side-by-side comparison set up here, Brand X, and we have Waste King over here. What are you trying to demonstrate?
Well, this is kind of like the old Coke Pepsi Taste Challenge. What you can do is see how one product works versus the other in terms of its ability to torque and get through jams. Okay?
Now, what actually does this knob go down into?
Okay, this knob is connected to the turntable, and what you're doing by holding the knob is you're stopping the turntable from turning. Okay, what you'll see with this unit is that there's not a lot of torquing ability on startup. That's the type of motor that it's using. Okay, with our unit, you'll notice that on startup it gets to a higher RPM faster, and it has the ability to get through things that would stop this one.
Okay, so you're going to turn this one on. I'm going to really have to kind of crank down to stop it. Okay.
Tight. Yes.
So should I grab a hold of it first?
Yep, grab a hold of it. I'll just turn it on and off, and we'll watch for your hand to turn.
Okay, now wait, hang on a second here. Let me kind of brace myself. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, go ahead. I can feel it turning, but it stops. It clicks right off.
Doesn't take much, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So that's...
okay, now try this one.
Okay, now let me brace myself again. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Let me try it one more time.
All right. There you go.
I can't stop it.
Okay.
In fact, if I held on to it long enough, it'd probably burn my hand.
Exactly, exactly. And what we're showing you again is that in terms of the type of motors that we use, ours has the ability to draw amperage under load and get through things that would stop the motor that the competitor uses. Okay, that's why their unit comes with what they call a jam busting wrench. Okay, those jams are the most common on startup when you have stuffed a bunch of things down in your disposer and the motor can't get through those things initially on startup. Those aren't a problem with Waste Kings because of our motor's ability to get through those blockages.
Well, Jeff, your demonstration there really underlines that not all disposers are created equal. And with that, I know you have to have the attention of all of our viewers. You're using stainless steel, space-age plastics. These are going to be around a long, long time. What's the best way for them to learn more about Waste King?
Well, they can learn more about our products by visiting wasteking.com.
Easy enough, and from there maybe they can figure out which model they need and what will match their needs and everything about a Waste King.
Correct. They'll see all of our products from disposers to water dispensers, etc., and they can choose the one that's right for them.
Well, Jeff, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having us.